Welcome to the Furlo Capital Real Estate Podcast, where we dive into the intricacies of passive real estate investing. And our mission is to equip investors to invest wisely in both properties and people so that together we can build our wealth while improving housing. I'm James, and this is my wife, Jessie.
I'm here, and I wanted to give you an update on the praying mantises.
Okay, all right.
So we've been raising these things since they were teeny tiny babies.
Yeah.
The other day, we found like a massive one in the yard, and I was like, whoa, this is incredible. And then we've been finding like more and more of them. And so I'm hoping that we found a female, we found some males. I'm hoping that they'll do their thing, and we'll find some eggs, and I'll get to do it all over again.
Oh, man, that is good for you.
So amazing. I've been watching with the kids. Eleanor is especially good at spotting them.
Oh, yeah?
Even though they're super camouflaged. Yeah,
they are.
We go and like look in the bushes and
stuff.
stuff.
I even have you point them out, and I'm like, I don't
see it.
Then...
Oh, yeah. She's just like, there's one. There's one. Ooh, look, there's one there. I'm like, how do you see this?
Man, that's sweet.
Good at recognizing patterns.
Speaking of our kids and raising things from little egglets to full-grown adults, we are talking about our kids and how we are raising them to master real estate and doing it from day one.
It's awesome.
Yeah. And so I just want to just share some of the things that we're doing. And obviously, real estate is a little bit of a big deal in our household because I live that life, and so we talk about it quite a bit. Yeah. And I will say my goal is not necessarily for them to, quote, take over the business someday.
Sure.
But I genuinely believe that real estate is an amazing asset to invest in and can afford them at least a little bit of income so that they can pursue what they want instead of just pursuing a high-paying job.
Yeah.
Because if you can at least supplement whatever you're doing with some real estate, which you may or may not have to manage, you can go pursue your dreams. Who cares? You're good to go.
Well, and the bigger concept behind that too is the whole concept of investing and time freedom and the flexibilities that allows you. Those are the concepts we want them to grasp onto, and then through real estate, we feel like is the best way to accomplish that. But we want them to be thinking that way from the beginning.
Correct. So the first way that we do it is through some free-range parenting. And it's just really and so not all of these are obviously not all 100% directly related to real estate, but just that idea of, no, we let them go out and explore the world. We have some walkie-talkies that we hand them, and whenever they go hang out in the neighborhood, take a walkie-talkie. Yep. And we just let them go. And that's part of being an investor, you're independent, man. You're out on your own, making your own decisions, and we just want them to get a lot of practice doing that as their kids. Yeah,
you got to try things. You got to fail. Your line that cracks me up sometimes is like, well, let them get into a little bit of trouble. What are they gonna do? Which
has definitely happened.
Definitely happened. Yes, I ignored them. I was like, let's see what happens. So we were outside, and I hear, boys. It's like our neighbor grandma or whatever. She's like, boys, no more climbing on the roof. It was something like that. I was like, I'm just gonna let this slide. Let's see what happens
threw something
here.
up there. We're just gonna go get it. Oh yeah, Samson came back home and said nothing. Because we were out we were fixing a bike or something like that. Yeah. I was like, dude, that's awesome. Oh yeah, I definitely was like, that's awesome. He's on the roof, getting into trouble. That's how that works. Especially that kind. It's pretty innocuous. So I love it. That's parenting, free range parenting. We were big on that. Yeah. Let them run. I think I'm more than you are, even, because we had the other day where he had some friends come over, hey, there's this church event. They got a bounce house. Let's go. And I was like, have fun. See you. And you were like, wait, you just let them go without taking them there? And I was like, what? I don't know. It's a church down the block.
I mean, it is 2 blocks away, but still, it's like, you don't know who's going to be there.
I didn't care. Yeah. Figured again, I was like, let them get into some trouble. So that's what we do. Second thing, we play Cashflow for kids. Yeah. So if you don't know, Robert Kiyosaki, author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and Cashflow Quadrant, came out with a board game called Cashflow. And the idea is really simple. You're like these rats who go around in a circle, rat race, and and through there you do things. It's all about filling out financial statements. Yep. I think it's great.
You get paid.
You're buying assets. You have
things,
doodads. You're selling things, and the whole goal is to accumulate enough assets that you eventually, quote, get out of the rat race and into the big thing. Well, they have a kid version of it, and we've been playing that with the kids. We played it a few times, and they're kind of like, Dad, this is a math game. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's great.
Isn't it great?
But just teaching them those concepts, here's how this works. And every time we do it, they pick up just a little bit more. And so that's one of the things that we're doing. We are just regularly playing games. Eventually we'll get into Monopoly because it's great. They're still like, I think Eleanor can handle it. Samson's still a little bit young.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, it's good that one of the things I like about Cashflow for kids is it gives them those opportunities to think through like the concept of starting a business or owning a business or what is an asset versus a liability. You know, if I spend this on, you know, going out to the movies, does that actually give me a benefit? And I was like, well, sure, it's fun, but now the money's gone, you know? And so they're like getting to play those things that is like real life that they're not doing yet. They get some of those life experiences, which we'll talk about, but it like speeds up that process. Yeah.
And that's how I think about it. Because we'll play the adult game with other adults. Right. And what I'll tell them is like, yeah, this like that's what we did. We just played that game in real life. And what I like about the board game is, it puts it on fast forward mode. 10x is the speed, so you can see the big picture. Yeah, so super helpful.
Another cool thing that I liked from that game from watching our daughter is she picked up on the nuance of like a job and a business, like owning a business and working a job. And she is still mulling that thought over in her head, but currently has this idea of like she wants to go into like fashion or hairstyle or something, and she's wrestling with like, well, do I want to be the person who does the work every single day, or do I want to own the business and like I could be there working, or I could go off and do something else, you know? And it's like, yeah, those are good things to think about and process and ask the question.
And ultimately you'll probably start off as an employee for someone else, learn the ropes,
learn the skill, and then
go off on your own and expand. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's gonna be great. Another thing that we do, and we admittedly like, so we're not perfect, turns out. We took a break over the summer and we're gonna get back into this fall, is we do what we call a weekly cash flow payday. And so it's essentially, it's a very fancy way of us saying like, you get an allowance, but we call it payday. Yeah. Which is kind of a throwback to the game. That's the game. Whenever you get paid, you have, hey, payday. Yeah. And what we do right now is we're giving them $3. Now, what's kind of fun about this is when they were babies and people would give us money for them, we put them in these bottles, and now we're just giving them their money back. But we're doing it at $3 at a time. Yeah. And there are 3 envelopes that they have. There's a giving envelope, because we want them to learn about generosity and what that looks like. There's a spending envelope, and then there's a saving envelope. And they have to give something to giving, but then for the saving and spending, they can do whatever they want. Now, if they choose the saving envelope, they give that back to us. They can't touch it for the week. But for every $1, and there's an amazing pay rate, they get a quarter back. Yep. And Eleanor, like, very quickly was like, oh my gosh, I'm putting all of my money into savings, because she figured it out. Samson was like, dude, forget that. I want to spend. Yep. But then Eleanor would run into a problem where she would be like, oh gosh, I found something I want, but I don't have anything in my spending envelope. We're like, yeah, man, that's the balance. Yep. And Samson's more like, we get to the payday and he watches how many quarters she gets. She's like, what the heck? I'm like, well, dude, like,
you gotta save.
Gotta save. And so we're just trying to help him. She said balance. Now right now it's super simple, right? Put it in, for every $1, you get a quarter. Eventually, I want to turn this savings thing into, make it a lot more complex and interesting. Actually have it be an investing thing. So you might still have like, yeah, there's a savings thing, and we're going to give you a penny back for every $1 or something, right? 5 cents, a nickel. Sure. Like, make it super easy. But then have other things where you go, hey, would you like to invest in or buy this asset? So like, for example, maybe it's, hey, we want to buy this stock. And, or maybe, I don't know, I'm trying to think of what would be interesting. Yeah, you want to buy this stock of this company, and I'll print something up, and maybe they're like, yeah, you can buy, I don't know, Apple, and not for their actual price range, but like, yeah, if you buy the stock for $10, let us hold on to it for 2 weeks, then you'll get, I don't know, $12 back, which is a great rate. You know, and maybe there's another one where it's like, hey, here's this other one. We want you to invest in it. If you pay, maybe it's a lawn mowing business, pay $10 to get started. Every week, you then have to contribute a little bit more. But at the end of let's just say 2 months, maybe, we'll give you back all of that plus, you know, so let's say that at that point you paid in $18. Like, yeah, we'll give you $30 back. Something like that, where they kind of got to like, I want them to think through, here's what some of these different assets look like. And we'll have cool pictures, and they'll have the piece of paper, and we hold on to the money. Yeah. And then, but maybe on that one, like if they don't contribute, you go, there's a downside to it if you're not able to keep it up. Something.
Yeah, your business shrinks or
something. So I'm looking forward to having that more creative and just like, and they don't get every single opportunity all the time. It's like, hey, this week, these are these 3 that are in front of you. And maybe they're already invested in something else and something amazing comes along and they go, man, you go,
I wish I could put my money out.
That's how it is. And I want them to learn that lesson as well.
Yeah.
And so, but for the moment, I'm really just trying to like drive home, like, nope, saving and investing is good.
Yeah.
And so like the reward is massive.
Yeah.
And it's good.
One thing I wanted to point out too is we're very distinct on, it's not like an allowance. We're giving them a payday with the purpose of them managing money.
Right.
You know, we're sharing some of that load with them. Like, we manage money. We want you to be able to do that too. Here's some money.
Yeah.
We want you to manage it.
That's
and
good.
They do have opportunity at different times. You know, it's not a standard thing where it's like, hey, if you want to do a chore for me, I might pay you for that.
Yeah.
But we don't pay them to do work. They contribute in other ways in our household, and really the money is just them learning how to manage it.
We were listening, we do this parenting class, and one of the rules, I'm like, how much money do you give them? Not enough.
Yeah.
And it really is like, they're just learning. And and eventually over time we will increase that amount, and then they will have more responsibilities for that spending envelope that, right now it's just fun stuff. But even then it's been super fun because we go to places and like if we go somewhere fun, we'll go, hey, here's $40, figure it out.
Yeah. If it's a bigger trip.
And they're in control. We're like, you can buy whatever you want. $40, go for it. And I really love those situations because now they're like, they're doing the value game in their head and trying to figure out, is this the best use of my money?
The thing I love about it too is it causes them to think about purchases that they're making. Like, for example, Eleanor went with me tonight grocery shopping, and she was like, I want that thing. I want that pair of earrings. I want this thing. And I asked her, did you bring your money with you? She was like, oh, no. But now she's considering the cost of it, and you know, she's going to look at her spending envelope and be like, how much do I have in there? Do I actually want that thing? It's not just, Mom, can I have this? Oh, sure. Yeah, you can get whatever you want. Or no. You know, there's this good balance of, you have control. You have some funds. Do you have enough? Do you not? This is up to you.
Yep.
I'm not the one who has to be the bad guy. It's super good.
It's so good. Yeah, that's probably one of the most powerful things that we do with them is let them actually practice and do it in the real world. Yeah. Another thing we do, we share stories, and they do ride-alongs with me. So when we're doing real estate stuff, like I don't just go, whatever, it's work stuff. Like I try to explain it to them, and then they'll come with me and they'll walk through properties and they'll see them, and they know which ones they are. It's kind of funny, like how they remember which one it is. Like we're doing this project in Lebanon. They're like, is it the one near the field? I'm like, yeah, the field one. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know that one.
They're like me. I'm like, is it the one with the dude who spatial. Does this?
Yeah, whereas I'm like, it's a street name, but but no, that's what we do. Like, and so they see it, and especially this last summer, they did a lot of trips with me to properties. Yeah. And they're like, oh, this is cool. This is what Dad does, and I let them like swing hammers, and again, we were doing a repair on a property, and I handed them the whatever that's called, the sandpaper to the wall, and they got after it, and you know, they lasted about 5 minutes, but like, this is lame. I'm like, hey,
they get to see the physical aspect of things.
That's how this works. Yeah. Another thing that we do, which again is this is only semi-related, is we do an end of day reflection questions. And I've been slowly evolving this thing, and so it will probably change a year from now, which is fine. But it's really, again, we're trying to create independent thinkers and people who really think about stuff. So the first question I ask them is, hey, what's something good that happened today? And usually they got a fun answer for that. Then I'll ask them, what's something that you're proud of? I also will often ask what was something that's challenging, but my observation has been something they're proud of was something that was challenging that they overcame. And so I'm like, I sometimes ask that, sometimes don't. Just because I'm like, yeah, it sounds like that was challenging, and you did it. Yeah. The other one, and this one's huge, is I will ask them, what did you fail at today? And I celebrate whatever it is, because I want them to not be afraid of failure. I don't want them to be perfectionists, because I think there's so much in our schooling where it's like, get the right answer, get the right answer, get the right answer. For example, tonight, Samson shared with me that he did not finish his math test. Like, he just didn't get done. Yeah. And I was like, awesome.
That's all right.
High five. Yeah. I'm like, good. I was like, that tells me that you're being pushed. and you're learning and they're going outside of your comfort zone, I'm like, that's awesome. Congratulations for not finishing.
Yeah.
You know, and I think he was a little like, wow, all right, that was not the reaction I wanted or expected.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, no, I want our kids to fail. And I do the same thing with Eleanor. When she tells me, I'm like, yes. And I try to make it very clear. I'm like, this is good. You're learning. You're being pushed. You're getting better.
Yeah.
That's what this feels like.
Yeah, that's often when I have those types of conversations, you typically ask those questions, but every once in a while I'll have a conversation like that, like, where did you fail? Or they'll bring something to me and say, like, this was really hard today. And I like to follow it up with, and I think you do this too, with, what did you learn? Or like, what do you think you'll do differently next time?
Yeah.
And often they have something like, oh, yeah, I failed at it because of this, so I think I'm going to try this next time. And it's like, that's the piece that is like, you're learning, you're growing, you're pushing yourself. It was good for you to fail.
Yeah, it's a combination of, I don't want you to be afraid of this.
Yeah.
And instead, like, take action. Don't just take it for what it was.
Yeah, don't just be like, well, guess I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
The last question I'll ask is, how did God show up in your life today? That's been pretty interesting, talking to them because they're kids, and I've had to kind of give them, like, here's some options on how it could work, and that's been really good. Yeah. Again, just getting them to reflect on their day, to slow down a little bit, to take it in, I think it just makes for more thoughtful kids. Yeah. And they're just fun. All right, next summer, we're gonna start a business with them, and because what I want them to do is awesome. I want them to get good at identifying a problem and solving it. I don't know what it's gonna be. We could be washing windows. They might not be old enough for that. It could be pulling weeds for different neighbors. I feel like they could be really good at that. It could be going to garage sales, finding deals, and reselling them on eBay or Facebook Marketplace or something. I don't know how I feel about that one, but I want them to do something, and it's going to be a, quote, family business, and we'll probably bankroll to get whatever it needs to be started. But I think it'd be good if it was, like, service-oriented, and I pull in the weeds is a great one because they get them outside. The timing doesn't really matter. That's definitely at their skill level. Focus level, I don't know.
A friend at the office had her daughter this year, who's 2 years older than our oldest, wanted to earn some money and start and like do a business. And so she was like, okay, like that sounds great. Like, let's do that. And so her daughter wanted to walk dogs and wash cars.
There you go.
And my friend was like, I didn't fully think through that she wouldn't quite be able to do the job all by herself. And so she was like, I had to shift my perspective a little bit. So like going into it, I like that. Like, this is a family endeavor. Like, we will help you. Yes. We're not just going to be like, go figure this out.
No, 100%. And I think that first year, you and I will probably have to take a leadership role in it.
Right.
And really like,
give them some ideas.
This is like, we're leading it. We're doing it. Let me show you how it's done.
Right.
But eventually, like, and I'll knock on the first couple doors and do the pitch. And so they can see it. I'm like, okay, now it's your turn.
Now you try. Yeah.
And part of it will be like, dude, the goal isn't necessarily to get business. The goal is to knock on 100 doors. Like, that's what we're doing. And however many customers we get out of that, that is what it is. But that's the goal. Yeah. So I want to just identify problems and practice solving it.
Both of them have mentioned things similar to this before, in the sense of like, okay, I've got an example for both of them. So Sam was like, we were cleaning out his room and getting rid of stuff, and he was kind of mulling over like, okay, well, if I get rid of stuff, I could sell it, and then I could get different stuff, which I'm like, yes, I don't know if this solves the problem of having too much stuff, but you get the idea of like selling things, and there's a trade there. And then Eleanor, the other one, was she heard about a cause that was raising money for a pregnancy center or foundation in her class last year, and she was like, how do I do this? Like, I'm gonna make something and sell it, and then from the money, like, I'll put towards this thing. And so I was like, okay, I will help you with this. I'll help you with marketing, like, I'll help you take pictures. So she made bracelets, and then she was like, okay, well, how do I get it to people? And I was like, I don't know, do you have any ideas? You know, she's just like, okay, well, what if like, you know more people than I do. Like, what if you texted them, you know? And it was just like, okay, let's walk through this. So that's brilliant. Yes. All in. Let's start a business.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. And, I was listening to a guy. I don't think he's a billionaire quite yet, but, like, multi-millionaire. And he was saying that's what he did with his kids. And what they did was they I think they kept half of it or a third of it back to fund the next year's business.
Ooh,
and
yeah,
they changed it up every year. It wasn't like, hey, we're doing this again. It was like every year was
try
something
different
new.
things. Yeah.
He goes, and so the businesses just kind of kept snowballing because they kept having more and more funds to get going. And
that's super cool.
Yeah, so I loved it. I'm like, I'm in. Other thing we're going to do is we're going to read books.
Yay.
Because I like to read. They should like to read. It's going to be good. We're going to read the classics, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Cashflow Quadrant. I think I'm about to sneeze. Nope. Maybe. Oh, there it is. So we're going to read Rich Dad, Poor Dad and Cashflow Quadrant. We're then going to read, which is all about money mindset. We're going to read $1 Million Weekend, which is, again, like starting up a business and how you, again, that's like really like find a problem, solve it, very hands-on. I think we're going to read 4 Hour Work Week because it talks about just that idea of focusing on what's the critical path for success, the 80-20 rule. How do you get people involved to help do it? I think Never Split the Difference is going to be a good one. It's all about negotiation. He's a former hostage negotiator. It's such a good book. I think we're going to read Pitch Anything, which is all about like how you pitch ideas and the game of money and the psychology behind it. I think will be good. I think $100 Million Offers is another one that is like, how do you create compelling offers that people want? And I think there's at least books to get started. I think there's going to be other ones. Buy Back Your Time will probably make that list, which is all about like, how do you hire people to help you scale and grow? But yeah, I think there's just going to be a lot of that'll we'll read it each independently, have discussions around them, that kind of thing. Especially over the summer when they don't have other reading assignments or as many. We're like, dude, we read in this family. I think it's gonna be good. And I think a lot of them.
Yeah, I was like, a lot of them are like on here.
Yeah, I remember the Automatic Millionaire. That was the one where that was a watershed moment for you, where you're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. The Science of Superman. That's probably a good one. Good to Great is fantastic.
The Millionaire Next Door is an interesting, more of a story.
I reference
concept.
that one all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that might be another good one. But yeah, I want to read books with them and just get them thinking about some of these concepts beyond just you and me telling them, but like, oh yeah, here's what these other people are saying that have like really spent time thinking it through. I think it'll be good. And then I think eventually they'll do some work for me because I think it'll be good. And they'll do things like bookkeeping, budgeting. I want them to do some tenant screening, do some underwriting for deals. Like, let's actually run the business. Yeah, I'll probably get them to swing a hammer every once in a while. But more of like, here's like the more office-y, back-endy type of business. I want them to just get experience doing that. And not necessarily with the goal of like, so you can take over for me one day. No. I mean, if that happens, cool, whatever. Just but
understand how it works. Really
just more like, I want to expose you to all this process, and I can. And I'll probably pay him for it and stick 100% of that into a Roth IRA, and it'll be okay. Yep. And just start them down that process.
Yeah. I think a big thing that we do that balances all of this and is like, it's overarching all of these different concepts is just a money perspective, and it's like, yes, all of these things are good. All of these skills are good. Managing money, investing, knowing how to use it, building businesses. But we hold this view that we're stewards of everything that we have. It's a gift from God. Yeah. And so overarching all of this is like, we want them to internalize, like, you're being called, you have a gift. Like, you have this gift of funds and time and talents. Like, you get to use them. And are you going to use them wisely? And what does that look like? And so that is like this overarching concept or heart behind everything too. Yeah. That does it comes into all of these different conversations that we have with them.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, the goal isn't necessarily to teach them to love money.
Yeah, to be a billionaire. Here's
how to get it. No, not necessarily. It's more to recognize. Again, for me, it's like, I want them to learn some independence, and I want them to learn how to identify problems and solve them. If it happens to be real estate, cool. If not, cool. Yeah. I'm okay with that, whatever that is. I happen to think also if they figure out how to insert some real estate into whatever it is that they're doing, I think it can be a really good counterbalance to whatever that is. Yeah. So I'd like them, ideally, to walk away with some of that. Yeah. I mean, they're going to inherit some anyways, just because I don't anticipate us selling everything by the time we die, because we live out the cash flow. Yeah. yeah, that's what we're doing. I'm excited. It's super fun right now.
It is fun.
They're at a fun age where they enjoy it all. It's all still kind of new and it's all fun. And there'll come a point in time where they'll be like, Dad, not again. But then we'll upgrade to the actual Cashflow game, and then we'll do 202, which is that one's super fun. It'll be good. Yeah, I like it. So there you go. That is what we're doing to teach our kids. And if you want to come along for the ride and learn more about what it is that we're doing, we've got an awesome email list that you can get on. And I got an entire email series that does a whole bunch of education stuff. You can find that at furlo.com. And if you enjoyed this episode, we'd love it if you left either a rating or review wherever it is that you've listened to this podcast. And so with that, thanks for listening and have a great day.